Hey guys, it's Nick from ND Media, and today I will be explaining to you guys an incident that occurred in December of 2015. Yes, I am talking about the Runaway MBTA train. And for those of you who don't know, in December of 2015, an MBTA Red Line train had departed from its station with no operator inside and had gone through 3 stations and over 5 miles in distance before coming to a halt after the power to the third rail was cut. This incident had not been clearly explained in just one article or news clip, and while this video today will be to clearly explain what happened that December morning and to get a better understanding of how it all unfolded. So without further ado, let's discuss the Runaway train incident that occurred that December morning. Let's get started. On December 10th of 2015, at around 6 a.m., a Red Line train at Braintree Terminal Station in Braintree, Massachusetts was set to depart to its destination of Alewife Station. And well, that morning, the train had departed from the station with no operator inside. And in short, the train had been tampered with. But I will get into those small details in a second as to how it happened. The train had sped through 3 different stations, those stations being Braintree, Quincy Adams, Quincy Center, and Wollaston, traveling 5 long miles before it eventually came to a stop close to North Quincy Station. And this happened because operators at a main signal station had decided to cut power to the third rail for the entire line, which ended up causing the train to stop since no power means the train doesn't go. And since 2015, we have the full picture of what happened, and I will do my best to explain as to what happened. And the news had initially said that the driver had, quote, stepped out to check a signal, end quote. And now that was indeed true, there were several key points missing here. First off, what had really happened was that the operator was attempting to put the train into bypass mode. And the reason why he was doing this was because there was a persistent signal issue that was preventing the train from exiting the station. And the way to quickly fix this issue was to put the train into bypass mode and allow the conductor to manually control the train and allow it to leave the station. Whereas automatic mode basically prevented the train from leaving since the signal said not to. And the conductor became impatient and just decided to go with bypass mode. And while the driver had violated several different safety codes in the process of this procedure, I will give an explanation right now as to the correct way of how to put the train into bypass mode for a better understanding of what should have happened and where some error may have occurred during this incident. Now, the correct way to put the train into bypass mode is in the form of these 4 simple steps. First, the driver must put the operator stick into the neutral position, which is turning it all the way to the right side and leaving it locked in the upright spring-load position to activate the dead man FailSafe feature, which I will cover in a bit. And second, after completing step 1, the secondary manual handbrake must be applied to prevent any accidental, unexpected propulsion from the train. After completing the first 2 steps, the driver has to exit the cab through the exterior front cab door and climb down to the undercarriage level of the train and flip the switch to activate bypass mode. And this procedure is needed to activate it. And now, back before the incident, a signal at Braintree was causing the train not to depart. And, well, because the train's mechanism defaults to listening to the signals by default, well, the signal was not being so nice, and it was preventing the train from moving. And, well, the driver was getting quite impatient, and he decided to activate bypass mode on his own. But the thing is here, is that he cut some major corners in the activation of bypass mode. Now, what I didn't mention earlier was that the 1700s and older, particularly the 1500s, 1600s, and 1700s, they have a certain way that their primary brake is initiated, and that is in the form of a failsafe that is activated within the primary control stick. Now, the primary control stick is spring-loaded. When the control stick is let go, it bounces up into its locked position, which activates the brake and prevents the train from moving. And this is a failsafe feature, particularly for if an incident were to happen where a driver were to suddenly let go of the control stick, then the train would automatically slow down the traction motor and would automatically apply the brakes to cause the train to come to a complete stop. And to have the brakes not apply, constant pressure must be pushed down on the control stick to prevent the brakes from activating. And this is called the dead man's failsafe. However, the driver in this particular incident caused this safety measure to fail drastically, and the way this happened was that he wraps the microphone cord around the head of the control stick. And well, because this FailSafe feature is for an older technology, it is very finicky, and the FailSafe feature requires the stick to be all the way up. And the thing is, this microphone cord had caused the head of the control stick to go down just ever so slightly, which caused the whole safety feature not to work. And well, that was the first issue here. The second issue was that the operator forgot to apply the secondary handbrake, which was a serious violation to safety. And doing this is what ultimately caused the train to take off. And the conductor got out of the cab and onto the ground level to access the switch on the undercarriage of the train. And when he flicked it, bypass mode was engaged and the train sped forward. And once the switch was flipped, the signal was override and the train went back to its manual operations, and which the failsafe feature would have prevented the train from moving, but that failsafe feature had been tampered with and the train sped away. Luckily, no one on board was hurt during this incident, and the operator was injured slightly by getting hit by the train. He was hit in the head by the ladder of the train, and he also received a minor leg injury from being hit by the undercarriage of the train. And soon after the incident was investigated, the operator was fired for tampering with safety equipment and violating several safety codes. And service soon resumed after everything had been cleaned up, and the MBTA made sure that the new policies that they had put in that day were applied, which those policies included at least 2 people per red line train. That would mean one main conductor at the head of the train and another conductor in the middle of the train. In case something were to suddenly happen to the conductor, the secondary conductor would be able to take over. The second safety measure that the MBTA put in is that 2 operators must be present when bypass mode is activated, and they must each check that each safety step has been followed and has been followed thoroughly. And since 2015, no other incidents like this have happened to the MBTA. Nothing on the red line, nothing on the orange line, nothing on the blue line, and the MBTA has done a good job at preventing this incident from happening. And well, I really hope that this explanation has really helped you guys get a grasp of what exactly happened, since before this video I don't think it was that well explained. And hopefully I did a good job, and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to see more content like this from me, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, and also be sure to follow me on my social links. All of those links are in the description below. And as always, this is Indie Media, signing off. I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye!